Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Ev, and on this channel we talk about all things knitting, and I should now say all things fiber related, because today marks a new chapter in the Knitting with Ev journey. I finally just got a delivery of my very first spinning wheel, and this is something that I've been talking about on this channel basically since I got my first spindle. I've been talking about saving up and picking out my very own spinning wheel. So for over a year now, I've been spinning on a Turkish spindle. This is the newer one that I did pick up in the fall, but I did have another one that I was using, a much bigger one. And I have been hand spinning my very own yarn. So this is the latest and greatest spin. It is a 70% wool and 30% viscose on my Turkish spindle. But this took me a couple days to spin and wash and then like ply. It's plied together, plied double. And at this rate, I feel like if I kept spinning, it would take me 10 years to spin a sweater quantity. I love the Turkish spindle. I prefer it so much more over a drop spindle. I find it works up nicer and I can get an actual proper twist. As in a drop spindle, hence the name drop it, but I drop it a lot constantly and I can't get a nice thin twist in my yarn. Even if I roll it on my thigh, I can't get it to work. And I like a Turkish spindle because I can stand up and just like twirl it, and it flicks so much better, and it comes already when you remove it off. Because you remove it like this, you end up having an actual cake, an already spun up ball of yarn. So then you can just ply directly from that one spin. So that is why I switched to a Turkish drop spindle, which I do think is one of the lesser known spindles, but I prefer this one. I'm actually really glad that I learned to spin on a spindle before using a spinning wheel, because it taught me how to draft. It taught me either you do an S twist or a Z twist, and then when you ply it, you spin it the opposite direction, so you counter what you did. It taught me about different fibers and how they spin up. And it taught me many, many different things before actually investing in a spinning wheel, because a spindle, this one was probably like $25, $30. And a spinning wheel is, depending on what you get, can go from, unless it's used, but if it's a new one, I think like the normal treadle wheel, the cheapest is like 500 USD and then it goes on to thousands of dollars. But yeah, so this video isn't actually about the Turkish spindle. I just wanted to give you guys a little backstory on my spinning journey and where I started off and where I am heading to now. There goes my phone. And we're gonna bring the box much closer to us. And we're actually going to be doing an unboxing. So the one I got is, hopefully you can see that, the eSpinner 3. Spin Find a textured art yarn. So let's unbox this together. I'm really, really excited. And happy birthday to me. It's funny, my birthday's on December 12th and today is actually January 12th. So my birthday has technically lasted a full year. A full month, a full year. Oof. Thank you to my boyfriend for buying me this for my birthday. Who knew 27 meant you get a new spinning wheel? I wonder what 28 will give us. So first, got some books to read. Is the Ashford Learn to Spin book. So this is about 20 or so pages of how the spinning wheel works, how to spin wheel fiber and spin wheel, how to spin yarn, how to use a niddy noddy, and it's just your basic starter off instructions on how to use this machine. Then you have your eSpinner instructions and how the machine works, how to set it up. You get a Ashford book, which has basically welcome to the Ashford world, and it's all of their products, everything that Ashford sells, everything that Ashford retails. It's a lot. It's kind of overwhelming, from weaving looms to weaving tapestry to rigid handle loom, drum carders, fibers even. They have yarn. This thing comes packed with all of the latest and greatest Ashford products. Finally, Ashford's Fibercraft magazine. I didn't even know they had a magazine. I believe this is the battery pack. Yeah. So, and then you get your power pack on the side. Just gonna... If I can get it out. Ugh. Your Ashford bag. So the spinning wheel does come in a portable bag to carry around with you. So the spinning wheel does come with a pedal to start and stop the spinning, but you can use the spinning wheel with it or with that not attached. There is a button. So here's our very first bobbin. I believe that there are 3 bobbins in this. So here we have I think this is called the flyer. I might be wrong. So this is about how big you can go with your yarn, if I'm right. So this is the orifice, the opening here, and your yarn will pass through here into these then hooks and then wrap around your bobbin. So this is about the thickness of yarn. You can go, I mean, you have to go a little bit smaller than this because you don't want it to be friction and get caught, but yeah. The wheel does come with a lazy Kate. So this is the base. And everything else we need. So there you go. Now we have a lazy Kate. And finally, the whole reason we're here. The spinning wheel. Here are the buttons. This one here is to control the S and Z twist, depending on which way you want. This one is the on and off, and when it is turned on and flashing red, it means that the machine is on, but it's not like in active mode. It's kind of in rest mode. And then when it's fully on and like spinning, it'll just be red. And then this here is your nozzle and speed. At the back here, plug for the switch, the foot pedal switch, and then here is the power plug. I'm just gonna set this up. Da 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 da. Hammer. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Cut the nylon brake into 2 pieces, 35 centimeters for the brake band and 65 centimeters for the lazy Kate. Please tell me they cut this already. Oh my God, they did not. Oof. To the brake band, allowing 27 centimeters between the springs. See illustration. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up and maybe we will catch up because this seems... Candle wax? Why would I need candle wax? Okay, yeah, we're gonna take a little break and I will set this up and then we will catch up. So far, the only thing that I've actually been struggling with, and it is step number 1, is tying knots in this plastic thread right here. Like, look at this. What is that? I don't know. I can't tie knots. I kind of wish that this had come already tied and knotted, but I guess they give you like inch difference. So depending on how tight you want it, I'm assuming, and also like it'll be fresher if it's like hasn't been sitting in the box forever. And also if you ever need to change this piece, I'm pretty sure then it'll make it easier, but I've got some tweezers because this is being painful. And then I'm going to tie a knot again in itself in the knot to double tie the knot basically. I ended up going with the longer rope just because, the longer measurement, just because I have a feeling that by tying these knots, I'm going to be messing it up. And hopefully that'll be enough. We'll see. Rub candle wax onto the end of the screw eye. Do I have a candle? I hope it's just I am in the dark. Thread the screw with the eye attached to the pilot hole. So I'm assuming it's this one. Then I just screw you in. I am confused. Do I have, oh, there's another one. Oh, I need more wax. Where's my candle? Because the instructions don't necessarily tell us what kind of wax, I'm just using orchid and sandalwood. So this smells really fresh, really nice. And who knows, maybe it'll give my yarn a lovely fresh scent. 5, apply a drop of oil to the flyer, just to be sure. Boop. That's 1 drop. Okay, so I put a little bit of oil on it. So then I just slide you in. And then I believe I just snap you into place. Yay! Guys, we're getting there. You here. And then you're here. It's the nylon thread that's giving me a headache. There you go. That was smooth. Through you. There we go. And yeah. Basically the sound that it makes, it's pretty quiet. It's more kind of like a very small fan. It is quieter than my fridge that just went off right now, but this is it. It spins. Now basically just gonna be having fun with it. I'm gonna try to spin on some fiber. I'm actually also going to attach the, but I'm gonna attach a basic cotton line just to get it going, and then I'm going to be testing this out over the next couple of days. So I do have some roving that I am going to try to spin. So the first one is this green, lime green with some white specks in it. This is a 70% wool and I think a 30% viscose. Is the exact same one that I spun on my Turkish spindle. I would like to do a compare and contrast type deal. So I think I'm going to be starting off with this one. I do have experience with this wool and it is more of a woolly fiber, and I read online that to start spinning the best thing to go with is wool. This one has a nice staple length, but also it has a little bit of, it's not too slippery. It's not like a silk that's just going to slip out of your hand. I did do some spinning last night, and this is how much I got from my first attempt at spinning on my new spinning wheel. I think it's working really, really well. There are some thin parts, but then there are some parts that do have a nice twist, a nice ply, a nice twist. However, one thing I did realize, I should have weighed my braid, because my goal for my very first spin is to spin it single and then ply it together. Because if I want to ply it together, I should have separated my braid into two and then spun them on different bobbins so then I can use my Lazy Kate and spin it together. I'm so used to knitting on a Turkish spindle, spinning on a Turkish spindle, where you just remove it from the spindle and can just ply directly from the 2 points. You immediately get the inside point and the outside point, and you can just spin them together. On this, the beginning of the yarn is somewhere in here. I'm never gonna get to it. So I didn't realize that yesterday till I was reading. This is a new book I got. This is The Yarnitecture, A Knitter's Guide to Spinning by Jillian Moreno. And I bought this book because that's what I am. I am a knitter who wants to learn how to spin yarn so that I can knit my hand spun yarn. And then that made me realize, because at some point it was like, to ply yarns together, use your Lazy Kate with 2 different bobbins with yarn on it. And I was like, I'm spinning all on one. And I never split my yarn. Here's what we're gonna do. I got myself a little scale. I need 56 grams of yarn. So this is 1 bobbin, and then this is how much I need to spin on, on the leftover bobbin that I currently have. It's kind of crazy how I spun 32 grams in one sitting yesterday. It's honestly pretty impressive how much quicker this is than spinning with a spindle. So I would say this is 2 ply, so this is twice the length, spun together. I would say that this maybe took me like on and off a month to spin, but really like on and off. So I have been spinning now for, I would say, potentially 2 days, and this is how much I have left from the first half to spin on my bobbin. You can kind of tell here that the bobbin is filling up. The sun is currently setting right now, so I just wanted to get this before it gets too dark. Happy Monday, and I am pretty much almost done the first bobbin. We just have this much to spin, and then this bad boy is done. And there you go, our very first bobbin. And I have oil on my hands, but this is actually really stunning. I'm pretty proud of my first spin ever. Yeah, so what I was saying is the reason why I'm really glad I chose this is because it naturally has little bumps and kinks, and it's gonna have it when I spin it. Because the fiber already has little bumps and little clumps of like white, extremely white fiber, I think it's very forgiving that my spin is a little wonky. So it's gonna help with that. So it's not like a super silky smooth fiber, but more of one with little kinks in it and little bumps. So now that I have 2 hand spuns, like singles on bobbins, it's actually time to ply them together. But I was actually just thinking, because I need to ply them, I need to wash them, I need to dry them, I need to hang it up, but that's before the wash and dry, so that I can count up how many meters I have, which then makes it easier to wash and dry, so then it doesn't get tangled. Then I need to knit a swatch to figure out what type of yarn I just spun and then help me choose a pattern for it. That's a lot. So I think I'm just gonna end the video here, and I will see you guys all next week. I think this is enough. Yeah, if you like this type of content or these types of videos, Please like and subscribe, and I'm just gonna walk away. Bye.